And joining us now on SportsCenter, Alexis Ohanian. He's one of the co-founders of Reddit, the principal investor of Angel City Football Club here in Los Angeles, and he just happens to be married to the greatest tennis player we've ever seen.
The GOAT. Yes, indeed.
Serena Williams, in case you're not familiar. All right, we're going to talk tennis in a minute, but let's talk soccer first. Angel City against San Diego Wave, a crowd of 32,000 expected on Saturday. And
not bad. That's not bad.
You say you're just getting started.
Oh, yeah. No, this is, we have two expansion clubs. These are two brand new women's football clubs.
Yep.
32,000 people coming to see a regular season match.
Yeah.
And I think it is a sign of a momentum that's built up for decades. That's now finally a tsunami wave that we're riding. And it's awesome to see, and I'm so grateful to be a small part of it.
With your business mind, you could invest in anything.
Yeah.
And pick out the trends. Why this?
I was lucky enough to get invited by my buddy JB, who's the CEO of a company, AC Memento, to a match in 2019 to see the U.S. women's team play the French national team in the Women's World Cup in Paris. It was the quarterfinals. And I saw a packed arena, packed, people losing their minds. I saw stars, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, and I asked him, I was like, why don't these women play in America? He said they do. It's called the NWSL. I had no idea.
Wow.
But what I saw on that pitch, and as I had a few drinks later that night and started rage tweeting, I realized this was the most obvious, best sports investment I could make right now. It was so obviously undervalued because we associate, when we think of American soccer excellence, we think of the women. Right, we think of all the stars. We probably think of Chastain in '99 with that penalty kick, tearing her shirt off. Think of what a big deal it is. In the American psyche, we love greatness in sports. And when we think of the sport of soccer, the most popular sport in the world, it's women who have carried the crown for us. And now we're giving them the stage they deserve, and they're living up.
A lot of prominent women from other fields also involved in the ownership group. Natalie Portman, Christina Aguilera, Candace Parker.
Yes, great
How did that all coalesce?
You know, give credit where it's due. I met Natalie. She was one of the first sort of founding members of the club, along with Kara Norman and Julie Ehrman. And these women had a vision. And once they started sharing it with folks, throughout here in Los Angeles, we found so many folks who signed up and just simply said, I want to be a part of this. Take my money. I am so excited to come to a match. And look, I've been investing now for a decade. Obviously started Reddit 16 years ago. I'm in the business of either starting companies or backing companies at the earliest days that I think can produce multi-billion-dollar outcomes. That is exactly what I saw in this franchise. And I think we're going to see over this next decade, Angel City and many others show just how valuable, just how powerful women's sports is. And this squad is doing a hell of a job already.
It's going to be quite an investment for your daughter, Olympia, who is listed as an owner at 5 years old. Why did you want to get her involved so early?
Well, to her credit, it was actually her doing. This was now a little bit after that first match I went to. It was back in Wimbledon with my wife. She was in the middle of a work trip. My daughter was running around during the finals. We're watching it on TV. She's wearing her little Alex Morgan jersey. And I remarked to Serena, I said, wouldn't it be great one day if Olympia played on the women's national team? Like any proud dad. Without missing a beat, Serena said, not until they pay her what she's worth.
Wow.
And I said, okay. Challenge accepted. I have 15, 16 years to play some role in helping these women get what they absolutely deserve. And that led to one thing after another. And so when I was able to invest in this team, I set aside a small portion of money, put it in a trust for Olympia, made her the youngest owner in pro sports because, to be fair, it was a big part of what prompted it. And obviously got my wife involved as well. And, made it a family affair. But to be very clear, none of this is with the sort of old school model of team ownership, which often was like a vanity project for a family. This is about excellence. This is about hiring the very best people to run this organization. This is about a path towards building a very successful business. And obviously, I'm happy for my family to reap some of the benefits of it.
Yes.
But we have just a very different approach to building a franchise, building an organization, building something that I'm excited by because I think it will define what this new era of sports ownership and franchises look like. And I'm excited that, it's a women's football club that helps lead the way.
So I've seen Olympia on the court with Serena. Hitting balls
she's got a pretty good backhand.
And the form's there, but she's really into soccer.
She is. I'm very proud of that. I check up. That's us. Yeah, that's us playing after a match at the bank. You know, that's a 22,000 capacity stadium. LAFC plays there.
Yeah.
We're averaging about 19,000 attendees. We've sold out already multiple nights. It is so amazing to be there and to give Olympia the chance to not just watch these women be great to a sold-out loud crowd. That's me. I was a better goalie, to be clear, when I played. I was letting her score that one. Don't let her think she got that one on me. But the reality is, she's getting to experience this like so many children, and it's setting a different mindset for them. I mean, I think of just now in England, all those little boys and girls who went to school after seeing the Lionesses finally bring it home for England. And all they care about is the fact that England finally won in their lifetime. And it was women doing the work, but at the end of the day, greatness is greatness. And we obviously have gotten a front row seat with Serena to see what happens. We've already run the experiment, because the U.S. Open for a couple decades now, thanks to Billie Jean and obviously Venus and Serena, gave women equal pay, gave women an equal playing field in terms of marketing, in terms of promotion. And lo and behold, and these are ESPN numbers, even the last U.S. Open, where there was no Williams sister in the final, more people tuned in to watch the women's final of the U.S. Open in America than the men's. And that was with Djokovic chasing history. It is something we celebrate in this country is the greatness of sports, the greatness of athletes, and I just feel very lucky that I was, you know, I've had a front row seat to it, and I didn't have to look very far to women's soccer to see it, you know, yet again.
Waffle House.
Yeah, changed my life.
I understand you and Olympia enjoy the Waffle House. What's the story behind that?
I had to take her. I took her. We were finally near one. There's none in California, as far as I know. That's got to change. But we're recently in, I guess it would have been Ohio. We're in Cincinnati. And I found one near the house we were renting, and I had to take her for breakfast. Waffle House is the place where, while I was an undergrad at UVA, I walked out of an LSAT. I was going to be a lawyer. I walked out of the LSAT 30 minutes into it because I was hungry for breakfast. And I went to the Waffle House on 29, sat down, ordered a waffle and some hash browns.
You get the chicken and eggs. The chicken and eggs is awesome.
Dude,
go ahead.
When you're going to an institution like the Waffle House, you have to get
a waffle, because waffle's in the name. I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
It's spectacular. And as I was sitting there, I realized I clearly should not be a lawyer, and instead I should probably be an entrepreneur, just figure something out. And that's what led me, honestly, that's what led me to start Reddit.
Wow.
And if it weren't for Waffle House, there'd be no Reddit. So I needed Olympia now that she's of age. You know, she's 5, so she's making core memories. I needed to make sure that she was ready to experience the Waffle House for the first time. She liked it. I'm worried I might have hyped it up a little too much, but she had a good time.
Scattered, smothered, covered, chopped, chunked, the whole thing. Diced. There you go. All right. Yeah. I saw some of your tweets. I saw the crowd cutaway shots, but what was that U.S. Open experience like for you?
Look, it was emotional. Tennis is interesting. I grew up. We were saying, you know, beforehand. Tennis was not considered a real sport in our household. I'd never watched it as a kid. I was very ignorant. And the thing I love about the sport, you have all this energy that's captured. You're not allowed to clap, you know, when the ball's in play. Every other sport, it's a part of the reason you're there, right?
You're razzing the opponent and everything.
There's a vibe to it. There's an energy. Because you had such an emotional moment every single night that Serena was playing, so many people tuned in. You could feel the energy of everyone watching, not just filling the Arthur Ashe, but everyone watching.
Yes.
And it was like boiling up during every point, because you'd be forced in silence. And so the moment that people got a chance to cheer, they cheered. And it was unlike, I've been to a lot of amazing sporting events. It was unlike anything I'd been to. And I know I'm biased. But I spent that entire time, even just leaving the hotel, go get a cup of coffee, having people stop me to tell me a story, to say, you need to hear this about what your wife meant to me. I need you to let me tell you this story about this one Grand Slam, or this one moment, or this one thing she did. I think there was some, I hope, a little bit of justice, knowing, you know, I educated myself, knowing what she had to endure at the start of her career, when the crowds were not cheering for her, when they were saying hateful, hurtful, awful things, Indian Wells, when the line judges were calling balls that were clearly in as out, and that were clearly out as in against her at the Open. You know, it made Hawkeye even exist because those calls were so egregious. I feel like, in a little way, it was the universe, I hope, showing to her just how much she meant, and to have a crowd that was so much behind her, and really the exact opposite of what so many of those crowds and so many of those environments were like for so long for her.
Yeah.
I hope there was some part of that landed with her, and it's, you know, it's a privilege. Now I'm lucky because I get to see her every day. So many people, I think, realized just how much is going to be missing from not just the sport of tennis, but sport with her, you know, evolving out of it. But the good news is she's kicked down. She hasn't even kicked down a door. She's knocked down the entire building.
Right.
And built something even bigger that has opened up for so many more athletes, so many more people across so many disciplines, and I'm just so proud. And it was special. It was really special, and especially to share it with Olympia.
So where does this evolution take her and the two of you together next?
I mean, she's also now she's become quite the active investor and venture capitalist.
Yep.
She has so many businesses. You know, she's obviously talked pretty openly about both of us wanting to expand the family.
What's her next passion?
I mean, really, as of this moment, it's Olympia.
Okay.
It is that amazing 5-year-old that we made that I'm so grateful for. Because, you know, Serena sacrificed a lot just to bring Olympia into this world. And the honest to God truth is I have no doubt in my mind, even someone who's gotten to the mountaintop like she has, right, achieved everything, broken every record, become the undisputed greatest, she has something to you know, transition into that I actually think I know she cares about even more, which I think is a tremendous blessing, because there are a lot of folks who get to those heights, and at some point, you know, they evolve out of it, and they need to find that next thing that gives them that purpose, that gives them that drive. And I've talked to plenty of them about it. I've been trying to, like, take notes and try to be a helpful husband on it. She's got it all figured out. And it starts with that little girl, and it starts with getting to have the agency now, really for the first time in her life, to wake up in the morning and say, what do I really want to build next? What do I want to do next? And the foundation is a family. And that's, you know, at the end of the day, I even look back on a much less remarkable career that I've had and all the things that I cared about. Even with the success that I've had, the bottom line keeps coming back to the legacy that we're leaving. And that legacy right now is one 5-year-old little girl. And that's, I know it's schmaltzy, but it really is the truth. And it's pretty amazing to see, because she's living it. She lives it every day, Serena does.
Fantastic. Matt, it's great talking to you. Great having you here. Alexis Ohanian joining us here on SportsCenter.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.